Now that the version 1.6 live stream is over, we've already went ahead and talked about Ruin Mei, how strong she's going to be, how broken she's going to be in comparison to Bronya. If you haven't already watched that video, make sure to go check that out when you're done with this one. But in this video specifically, we are going to be talking about Dr. Ratio, and I think I can say this with a lot of confidence, which is that everyone is excited for his release, and not because they want to pull for him. It's because if you haven't heard the news, we are going to be getting a free copy of him in the mail when this banner comes out. So be patient. When version 1.6 happens, we are not going to get him immediately. When the second half drops with the banners with Kafka and Dr. Ratio, that is when we will be getting our free copy in the mail. No missions required, no login streak, no nothing. You straight up just get them in the mail. And that's just super exciting and super cool that everyone's going to be getting him. Now, with this release, there are a couple things we need to talk about. Not only his kit, but who he's going to be impacting, and also the things that free-to-play players and also low spenders need to make note of when he's dropping into your account, because I think it would be a wise decision to possibly allocate resources for him just because of what we're getting in the future and what we have currently. So talking about Dr. Ratio, for his kit, it's pretty simple, and honestly, nothing that we know so far is complicated. But let's go ahead and start talking about his kit. For his skill, it is going to be single target damage, and that's it. It's just single target damage. That would be lackluster if it didn't account for his talent. So when his talent happens, is that however many debuffs that you have on the enemy is the higher chance that you are to be able to do a follow-up attack after you use your skill. So the more debuffs you have on the enemy, you use your skill, you have a lot higher chance to use your follow-up attack, and this is basically targeted. That is a very strong thing to say that he has, and it's something that we do need to talk about when I'm done talking about his kit. Another thing that after his talent is going to be his ultimate, and his ultimate is super freaking cool. And I mean, this is going to make him absolutely nice for a lot of different teams and one character in specific, which is when he uses his ultimate, he's going to be able to debuff on these enemies or on one enemy, and that one enemy, when he gets attacked by other allies or even Dr. Ratio himself, he is going to be able to use a follow-up attack based on whoever hit him, and that's just wow. To be able to target who you're going to be using your follow-up attack to, I wish I knew how many triggers this had. Maybe I might have to look at the footage later on, but to see that he can proc targeted follow-up attacks is a really huge thing for a certain character in the game, and I'm pretty sure you already know who I'm talking about, and that is going to be Topaz and Numby. Yes, Topaz and Numby by far are going to be benefiting from this so crazily, just because having directed follow-up attacks is something we did not have. We only had one character do it, or two characters. It was Qing Cui and also Yan Qing. These two characters have targeted follow-up attacks that they do have in their kit, but the problem is both of them are up to chance. You're not guaranteed to have this, and you can kind of control Dr. Ratio's percentage and how he's going to do it. So it's a lot better than waiting for a random chance that Qing Cui is going to hit from her Eidolons, or even Yan Qing has from his actual in-person kit. So looking at Topaz and Numby, seeing that they're finally getting a character that can direct follow-up attacks to one certain enemy, you put the proof of death on one enemy, you go ahead, put the debuff for Dr. Ratio on the same enemy, and bam, I just think Topaz and Numby are going to skyrocket in value when Dr. Ratio actually comes out, because Numby is going to be able to go so many more times, because now we have a way to give these follow-up attacks to get that advance forward for Numby. And I really want to see how insane this is going to get, because if you're able to get a good ult time for Topaz and Numby, so your energy is doing really well, you have Dr. Ratio giving these directed follow-up attacks, you're going to be doing some damage. Now remember, proof of death also increases the follow-up attack damage, so we're going to see some nasty numbers, I'm pretty sure. The only problem is, of course, since this is two separate elements, you're going to hopefully wish that the enemy is either weakness to imaginary or for fire. I think either or, if you get at least one of them, you will be doing some insane damage. And another really cool thing, just for fun fact, is that Dr. Ratio does have the slow mechanic on him when it comes to his technique. So this is actually really cool, especially for 0 cycles or being able to get some extra damage in before the enemies actually go. Getting his technique off is going to help you a little bit when it comes to getting the most damage that you possibly can, or maybe thin out mobs before the enemy can start doing their damage. Now, talking about one thing in specific that I think free-to-play players and low spenders should look at is that Dr. Ratio is a blessing to your account. Either you don't want to use them or you do. Doesn't change the fact that you are almost given a full team by now by Hoyoverse, and this is absolutely insane, because right now we have Dr. Ratio, who can be your main DPS. He does kind of work as a sub DPS in most teams, in my honest opinion. Having Topaz and Numby is going to be a dual DPS situation. I can see him working with other units that hit a lot, possibly, just because we don't know the amount of times you can trigger that follow-up attack. But characters like Argenti, characters with AoE like Jing Liu with her adjacent, Blade, Jing Yuan, Kafka, sell it. There's a lot of different options that you can do that can help you get those follow-up attacks off after the ultimate. But for Dr. Ratio, we are going to be getting him for free, and we also got Yukong for free as well through the Memory of Lo-Fu stage. I think it was 2 that you had to complete, and then you got the free Yukong. This is an absolutely amazing team that you could possibly build with Dr. Ratio and Yukong in mind, because Yukong, she's going to give that attack buff. She's also going to be giving you an insane amount of crit rate, crit damage buff from her ultimate. And then for her Ascendant Trace, you are going to be getting imaginary damage bonus for all allies on the team. So Yukong and Dr. Ratio are going to work absolutely perfect together, and especially because they're both free, this is really nice for free-to-play players. Another thing to take note as well is that we are getting links for free, and that is going to be coming from the Pure Fiction Stage 2, if I'm not wrong. I think I'm more right on this one than what I've said before. But links coming out, being an insane healer, nasty sustainer, has a lot of utility in her kit when it comes to her skill and her ultimate and all that she has. Having her, having Yukong, having Dr. Ratio, you are basically been given a fat ton of nice units to play with to be able to make one full team versus your other team that you're probably building up at the current moment. Dr. Ratio is going to open a lot of doors. Dr. Ratio, I hope, has a nice trigger count, maybe more than 2, maybe at 2, where he can trigger that follow-up attack from the ultimate, because I know a lot of characters can easily benefit from that or pull that off. Select can hit multiple units, Blade can hit adjacent. You got Jinglu hitting adjacent, Dan Heng hitting adjacent, Argenti hitting full wave, Jing Yuan hitting full wave. You have a lot of characters that can help him proc his actual use when it comes to what he can do. And then lastly, I didn't get to talk about this earlier, but based on the amount of debuffs, like I said, you do get a higher chance to activate that follow-up attack, but you also are going to be getting extra crit rate and crit damage. This wasn't said in the live stream for some reason, if I'm not wrong. So looking at that, he can give crit rate and crit damage on debuffs. Something like Silverwolf is going to be absolutely insane, maybe even dot units, or he does have his own debuff added on from his ultimate, don't forget that. But seeing that he gets crit rate, crit damage from however many debuffs he gets, I'm not 100% sure how much he would get. Hopefully it's a substantial amount, but it's still going to make it a lot easier to be able to build him when it comes to his relics, getting his crit rate, crit damage up there. Especially if you want to run possibly the imaginary set, it boosts it up even more, and then adding Yukong to it just skyrockets it. But for the most part, I'm pretty sure everyone is going to want to run the relic set that gives follow-up attack damage, because that's his main stick. He kind of wants that, and then coupling that with Topaz and Numby. Yeah, I'm very excited to use these two together. This is going to be so fun. I'm so happy that Topaz and Numby are getting the exact thing they want. Again, Shui Yi is also going to be playing a part in that as well, but she's going to have her own video. But other than that, that's pretty much it for this video. I'm just super excited and very grateful that we are going to be getting Dr. Ratio for free. I think this is a big shocker, a big surprise to everyone. I think having a new person or unit to play with on your account without having to spend the Jades is really nice. You can use it on someone you would really want to get, like REHOO and Mei, Blade, Kafka, Hanabi, or even also Black Swan. There's a lot of options out there. Can't wait to make more videos on these upcoming characters like Shui Yi and also everything else before version 1.6 comes out. So other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll wait to the end of the video. See you all on the next one, and peace.